we're going to go down for round 1 of the finals. Looks like Yurick is going to go first.
Yeah, this is what Yurick wants. I think, gosh, it's really tricky pledging whether or not to pledge that Infused Guardian, but Infused Guardian is lights out if it comes down. For this match.
He decides not to. He's going to save that Infused Guardian. I think he's thinking the same line of thought you are. If he can land that on 5, it's lights out.
There's the 4th, essentially 5th power. This is looking really good for Yurick. Purify into Avarax Familiar into Infused Guardian, and even if the Avarax Familiar falls, Yurick has an Archive Curator.
Going to fire off that Purify, take out that Ronin before it can Warcry. Captain's going to follow up with a Shifted Conscript. Good draw of a Torch there for Yurick as well. Captain also had the depleted power there, the Granite Coin, without dealing a damage, having to play it out. But going to use a Char to take care of the Familiar here. And follow up with a Grenadin Drone. 2 Grenadin Drones.
All right, well, 1/4s go pretty well against these 1/1s. I mean, sure, the silence effect isn't going to do a whole lot here, but it's still, I'm still pretty happy if I'm in Yurick's spot. Above starting life total, got a 1/4 facing up a board of 1/1.
Yep, facing the board 1/1s. Of course, Captain's going to attack into it. Going to follow up with the Streets of Flame to take care of that the Curator. But Yurick's got another one waiting in the wings. And actually the Infused Guardian. Any chance you warp here?
I mean, warping is tempting just to get it off the top of the deck. Yeah, it blocks as well as the Archive Curator, and you'd love to get a 6th power to go with the Infused Guardian to make it a 5/5.
Absolutely. Going to block one of the Grenadin, and then he's got Torch up if he wants it. Captain's going to follow up with another Grenadin and a Nimble Conscript shifted. Could have played it unshifted, but decided to shift it, and then play out a ticking Grenadin as well.
All right, here we go. Infused Guardian power. That Nimble Conscript has to attack straight into this Infused Guardian.
No cards in hand for Captain. Has to attack with the Nimble Conscript in. Hopefully drew some sort of spell to make this not at least a trade. Not going to happen. Just has to throw away the Conscript.
This just looks fantastic for Yurick. Yurick's going to be able to attack with that Infused Guardian and hold it back for defense and silence
the silence for the Rubbins. Says, I don't want that 3 damage.
I don't think that 3 damage ends up mattering in this game, but missing out on it just has to feel terrible.
Absolutely. Just going to throw in the towel there. And say what you will about Captain's deck. It's very explosive, but it is not going to finish out games like that. It's not built to play late.
Dealing with a curve that involves 1/4s into a large endurance unit on turn 5 is just really tough for that fire deck to come out with. But we're going to see if that continues, and we've got at least 2 more games to play.
At least 2 more. So that's Yurick taking the first game. Now we're going to switch up, and now it's best out of 5. So they got to win 3 games. Now we're going to switch it and see from Captain's side here. So he's going to start off with a turn 1 Grenadin, get 2 Grenadins out there. He's got a pretty decent hand. You got a Torch in hand, you got an Oni Ronin following up, and you got the Pyro Elemental, which combined with a Torch or a Streets of Flame could do some work.
Yeah, Torch plus Pyro Elemental is a huge deal. Yurick has a fantastic hand too. Got this Tyler's Favored into Avarax Familiar, into Awakened Sentinel, and the power to play all those cards.
Absolutely. Now, Captain's going to play the Katana instead of playing out the Grenadin and keeping the Torch up. Of course, he doesn't know about the Familiar, but draws the power off of that. Going to attack through. That Katana does allow the Grenadin to attack through. Play the Waystone, and he's going to play the Grenadin out. Going to save the Torch for next turn, which is perfectly fine in this matchup, I feel.
So I think Yurick's going to just go ahead. Oh, Amber Acolyte.
Amber Acolyte. Okay. I guess that does trade with any of the units out there.
It does, but I think, we're just going to see Torch into Pyro Elemental.
Torch into Pyro Elemental, yeah.
For a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage there. I mean, obviously, the Yeti Pioneer is good to get out first and get that extra power, but you can't pass up the Torch into Pyro Elemental, making no good blocks for Yurick and putting him down to 8 already.
Yurick does have an archive curator to silence the 1/1, but what's the? I guess the plan is chump block the 4/3 and block the 3/1 on the front. Your
And
take
yeah,
4 go down to 4.
and Captain with 2 Streets of Flame in hand has 6 points of burn in hand if he wants it. I
But
think
you have to imagine that this one
there's
is
this
just
this
going to go to
one's
the
this one's pretty wrapped up here. Not even going to worry about the units. Can probably just fire off to the face if he wants. Yeah, and that's what we're going to see here. Just passing turn instead of playing the Yeti. Just going to burn face. There's nothing really Yurick can do at this point. There's no lifesteal that's going to be able to get him back in this. End of turn Streets of Flame.
Yeah, the only life gain in the deck, an Amber Waystone, wasn't even going to be enough.
Right. Yep. So
that's
Captain's
a
going
quick
to take
game
that. Quick game 2. So we are now 1-1 in the finals. 1 game each. Again, best 3 out of 5. So whoever wins, somebody might win the next 2, or you might go all the way to game 5. Pretty evenly matched decks, though. It's speed. It's really speed to the board. You know, if Captain gets out the early speed and can run Yurick over, then Yurick doesn't have time to stabilize. But if Yurick is able to get the speed on the board out and get some blockers down, they can stabilize and take over the game. So we're switching back to Yurick's side again. Get a fresh take of everybody. Captain's going to go first again and play the Grenadin drone. Ooh, Yurick is going to pledge out the Guardian to get that time sigil.
Yurick already having a 5-drop, I think, allows the pledge play, because you're just going to play a 3/5, and that's going to be big enough on turn 5.
Absolutely. Now, Cannon Bear on top of the deck. Good at some point in the game, but might be too slow for this game, especially with only access to 4 power. Now you can get there with the Amber Sigil and the Familiar, but a little slow hand here. Captain will play Shift Out Mining Team and Nimble Conscript.
So this is not the fastest start for CaptainTeembro. We saw a Grenadin drone on turn 1, and that's fantastic. But then Caleb's Favor doesn't apply more pressure to the board, and 2 shifted units, which they do, play to the board, but they don't apply pressure right away, which is, I think, what CaptainTeembro is looking for there.
A charge here,
that
take down the
said,
Familiar.
This is still an okay position for CaptainTeembro, having a 5 units to Yurick's 0.
Ooh, there's the Lazy Fire Main. Does Captain have a lot of good ways to trigger this? Trigger Renown?
Ornate Katana comes to mind. I can't think of anything else.
Yurick's not having any of it. Going to torch it right away. And then follow up with the Acolyte.
Yurick is behind on board, but I actually don't hate this position. Next turn, they have the power to put down the Awakened Sentinel, and that's going to stonewall CaptainTeembro's entire board.
Absolutely. And then they've got the Cannon Bear if they want to play it after that. Now, the Granite Coin does come in depleted, so they can't play it unless they have an undepleted power. Also, if it comes down to 3 damage, they do have 2 silence effects to take care of the ticking Grenadin if they need to.
I think that's going to end up mattering.
They do come in with the untap power and gain 2 life. That's actually a big draw if they want to do that.
Yeah, that is huge. I think that's probably going to put this out of reach for Captain, because the Nimble Conscript is going to have to attack. You can get in 1 with the ticking Grenadin, but aside from that, you're just stonewalled.
That's 2 life off the land, 1 damage to kill a unit, and a 5/6 blocker. That's a big draw for him. Of course, Captain pretty much just has to attack with everything, but allows Yurick to eat 2 units.
Yeah, with no board presence and a silence on the ticking Grenadin, I have to imagine this is it.
And then be able to silence, and that's it. Captain wants no more of it. No, not enough burn to the face. And that's it. So Yurick takes a 2-1 lead. And so as not to confuse everyone with the records, we're just going to stick with Yurick now. Yurick is 2-1 in the finals. So if Yurick wins this next game, they will go ahead and take the title of champion and the $50 prize. If not, they'll go to a game 4. Go
Did
to
you
a game
get a friend
five.
request from the two competitors as far as a winner interview goes?
They both did agree to do a winners interview. So I will need to check that out on the Discord when we're done here. But yes, hopefully when this round ends, we will get a quick winner interview. So please stick around if you're watching on Twitch. Feel free to stick around after this match, and hopefully we'll get a quick interview with the winner. So it looks like Teembro leads out with the ticking granted in on turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like a solid hand from Yurick with 2 removal spells and then the Awaken Sentinel. That's oh so. But under the gun here, going second against against CaptainTeembro's Mono Fire deck.
Gonna play out that Blink Wolf, and then you got the Manufacturer on the top of the deck. Ooh, Yeti Pioneer, that's good. Yeti Pioneer, that 2 toughness is pretty big on Pioneer too. Being able to attack and get the power bump. Now you do have some shifted units, which is a little bit slower, but Yurick is not going to have any of that Pioneer. Going to get rid of it as soon as he can.
Yeah, not even letting it attack. All right, Nimble Conscript being a 3/4, big deal. Doesn't die to Torch here. I mean, if you're Yurick, you can play a 1/1 or a 2/2 this turn. Neither option sounds fantastic right now. CaptainTeembro draws Pyro Elemental for the turn, but doesn't have a spell to go along with it. There's a Torch answering the mining team. CaptainTeembro plays in a post-combat Ornate Katana, presumably because they were suspecting that Torch. They didn't want to just commit it to the
Smart play.
2/2 and lose it to the Torch,
Ooh.
even if they get to draw the card either
That's
way.
a clutch
There's an
Awakened Sentinel off the top. That is a clutch warp right there. You know, we haven't seen the warp get abused too much tonight, but there's a couple times, that included, where that's just a clutch play off the top of the deck.
Drawing the char there is huge. We're gonna see a double block here, right? Yeah. And the char's gonna blow it out. Oof. And play the Pyro Elemental.
Oof. That's rough. You got to make that double block if you're Yurick. What a turn for Captain, though.
I think so. It's not like telegraphed or anything that CaptainTeembro drew a trick.
Yeah.
So now 3/5 is really good in this matchup, but it doesn't match up too well against the 5/4.
Yeah, those 2 5/4s. You know, that Katana, it doesn't look like much when you first take a glance at it, but being able to put things out of blocking range as well as drawing your card, it's a solid card, and it's gonna do another one. Oof, Yurick's under the gun now.
What are you supposed to do here, chump? If you block the 1/1,
you have to.
You die, so I guess you have to.
You have to, but you're not really doing anything else. I mean, even next turn, you play Manufacturer just to jump, but Yurick, I don't think, has a way to get out of this. Canterbury is good, but it's not enough.
Yeah, we're just going to see a concession here at any minute. Like, Yurick had the tools that they wanted, but it just wasn't quite enough to deal with CaptainTeembro's blazing fast start with Nimble Conscripts with the Katana. 5/4 beats up a 3/5.
Yeah, and these 3 chump blockers, they might keep them alive, but for a turn, but that's not going to be enough. Yep, we're going to see some chumps here. We're going to trade off for the 1/1. Going to take 4 damage. Yurick's going to go down to 4, facing down. Going to go down to 3, facing down a very tough board. There's no way out of this for Yurick. And that's going to go to game 5.
Deciding game.
This one is for literally all the marbles here. Final game, game 5 of the finals. Mono Fire versus Praxis Warp for the title of Pauper champion and for the $50 prize. Who you got your money on here, Sonny?
Gosh. I think Yurick has the advantage. I'm just gonna go with that. Removal, then 3/5s. I think it's going to take.
All right, Yurick is going to keep a hand with 2 time sigils. A couple acolytes here. And a Blink Wolf. Like you said, this is not the 5-drop hand, but sometimes drawing the 5-drops later after you have your early creatures is actually a better way out.
Yeah, like I said with the warp deck, you just want to be able to deploy your hand as fast as possible because since you have so many cards with warp, you get them for free. You don't have to worry about hand size. All right, so we have a fast start here from CaptainTeembro. The Grand Drone turn 1 is going to be followed up by a Yeti Pioneer or potentially a mining team here.
Ooh, the
No,
granite
there's a
coin to
granite coin
take
finish
care
off
of the.
the
Yeah,
Tyler's favored. Followed up ticking grenadine.
That's pretty good. Gonna have to play probably an Amber Acolyte here to go get a Fire Sigil. Ooh, Char's gonna take care of that.
Just gonna get answered to Char.
Well, Familiar's gonna answer with Char. Followed up by Yeti Pioneer. That's a good start for Captain. Yurick, you did draw the Praxis banner, so he's gonna have access to fire here.
Can't play Conflagrate or anything here.
No, one underpowered card a turn is not going to be enough.
CaptainTeembro drawing a Streets of Flame and seeing a Streets of Flame on top of the deck. Yurick is going to have to just happily accept all this damage.
Ooh, it's a lot of power on board. It can gain 2 life off of the Waystone. That's somewhat helpful, and then warps the Awakened Sentinel off the top of the deck. So pseudo drawing a card there and gaining 2 life.
This is really tense. I mean, it looks like CaptainTeembro is crushing it right now, but Yurick's going to have these big endurance cards, and CaptainTeembro can get through the first, but at a pretty high cost. And are they going to be able to get through the second?
Oh, and look at this. He's got Cannon Bearer on the top of the deck and a Warp Cannon Bearer for a 5/6 blocker and take down a unit. Crucial play there for Yurick.
CaptainTeembro does not know how to slow down, though. Just attacking with everything, not caring about losing a unit.
I mean, what else are you going to do? Attacks through, plays the Grenadin, and another Cannon Bearer on top of the deck. He's not going to play it. He's going to play the Guardian, but another Cannon Bearer on top of the deck. And to play out 2 units. And Yurick, thought about going aggro there. Wanted that 5 damage.
I think if you're Yurick, you want to prevent as much damage as possible. I might have held up Conflagrate on that turn just to prevent the damage, because you don't need to deploy more cards once you have, a 5/5 and a 5/6. It doesn't matter how big the future cards you deploy.
Now, is there any chance Captain can burn him out? He's got 3 damage from the ticking Grenadin. That puts Yurick to 5.
Yeah, I think it's certainly possible. CaptainTeembro is at 25.
Oh, but here comes the Archive Curator to silence the ticking Grenadin.
And I think that's probably it. I think if Yurick just slams the attack button every turn, they're going to win this one.
I mean, yeah, especially with the endurance. The endurance on the Infused Guardian helps too. Keeps back a blocker. Not that he even needs it here. The Yeti Pioneer is not going to do it. Another Infused Guardian. I think Yurick's got it.
I'm telling you, 5-drop endurance units. Well, early interaction 5-drop endurance units.
I guess that answers our question about Infused Guardian versus Corrupted Behemoth. I guess one of them won the tournament. I think that answers that question. Not to be results oriented at all.
No, card game player would never do that. And there we have it. Yurick takes down CaptainTeembro in a very tense 5-game set and becomes our first Pauper champion. Congratulations.